Hi everyone, it is actually future Adeline right now coming at you from Tuesday, July 28th after the reading rush, and I just wanted to come and voice a disclaimer, or I guess just say something before posting this video. This is my first ever reading rush, first time participating in the reading rush. So essentially yesterday one of the YouTubers that I follow, Reid, posted a video about why she is no longer participating in the reading rush. There was a group book which was not advertised well from what I can see. I didn't know that there was a group book, and I have seen so many comments on Mayana's video and on other posts on Instagram that a lot of people didn't know that there was a group book that was going to be live streamed on Sunday. I didn't know about the live stream either. So the book was Such a Fun Age. I'll have a picture of the cover here, and it is a book by a Black author, and I think a lot of people were excited to see that the reading rush was going to be amplifying a Black voice. But then I didn't watch the live stream again because I didn't know about it, but apparently the hosts didn't read the book, and instead of talking about the book, or they didn't finish the book, they started it, excuse me. So the hosts didn't finish Such a Fun Age, and instead of talking about it in the live stream, I guess they did a Q&A. Again, this is all secondhand information that I got from Mayana and also from Noelle Gallagher, because she posted her video today and included a disclaimer about this. But I still wanted to post a vlog so you guys could hear about the books that I read and my thoughts about them, and just because I vlog every week, so I'm just gonna treat this as another vlog that did correspond with the reading rush. I don't know if I'm going to participate in the reading rush next year. My gut feeling is that I probably shouldn't, unless I see some comments from the hosts saying how they're going to make changes and be more inclusive or try and be less performative with their activism. But I did participate this year. This was my first year, and I'm willing to take partial responsibility for not researching enough and finding out that there was a group book. So I went ahead on my Overdrive app, which is my library's audiobook service. So I put a hold on Such a Fun Age in my library, so I will be getting that in the next couple weeks, and I'll be listening to it and reading it and reviewing it for you guys, because I still think it's important to read and amplify Black author voices. I've also just heard so many good things about this book. Noelle loved it, and I've seen a lot of buzz on Bookstagram about it. I'll have Mayana's video linked down below so you guys can get a little more detail, and I'll also have Ariel and Raylene's accounts linked down below, as I said, so that you can check them out and keep up with what they say about it. I have not seen any comments from either yet. I'll have their information linked down below so you can do your own research, and I will be better about researching reading challenges that I participate in the future, because I realize that part of that is on me. Let's go back in time to a week ago when I started this vlog and start there. Enjoy the video. Hello book friends, welcome back to Books and Tea Time with yours truly. This week is so exciting. I can't wait. I have been waiting for this ever since I watched the announcement video. It is officially right now the reading rush. I have never participated in a reading rush before. It used to be called Booktubeathon, so I hear. I've never participated in that either. But this year, I'm doing it, and I'm so excited. If you don't know what the Reading Rush is, it is a series of challenges where you're basically supposed to read 7 books over 7 days that correspond to challenges, and it is hosted by Ariel Bissett here on YouTube and her friend Raylene, who I don't think has a YouTube channel, but she does have an Instagram, so I'll have both of them linked down below. I'll also have their announcement video down below. If you watched my video, I think 2 weeks ago, I did a reading rush TBR in one of my vlogs, but I have since decided to adjust it and make it a little more of a challenge. I originally only picked 3 books, and I feel like I can do better. I updated my TBR stack just a little bit. I added an audiobook and I added a book that I'm currently in the middle of and need to finish. So without further ado, let's get into the TBR pile. So first things first, if you watched my last reading vlog, I did a vlog entirely dedicated to The Stand by Stephen King, and my plan last week was to read this entire thing, and I was a colossal failure and only made it to the 760 page mark. So this week, my top priority, number one thing to do is I'm going to finish The Stand. I'm going to read it as fast as I can and get it out of the way, and I figured that it would be easy to adapt this into my reading rush TBR, and I'm going to do this one for the challenge where you have to read the first book you touch, because technically, since I read this last week, it is the first one that I touch out of all of them, if that makes sense. But that was one of the challenges, and I really want to finish it because if I take a break this week to read my TBR, I'm worried that I'm gonna like just fall out of it and not finish it as fast as I could. So first things first is I'm gonna read the last like 400-ish pages of The Stand by Stephen King. If you want to see my thoughts on the first 700 pages or watch that vlog where I talk about it down below, I'll have it linked. Number two, this is the book that I'm using for the challenge for reading a book that's covers the same color as your birthstone, and also reading a book that's title begins with the, and that is the Iliad by Homer. It's a nice classic. It's on my classics TBR, and I just really wanted to read it. And when I saw the cover, my birthstone is like citrine topaz. I'm born in November, so this was like the perfect one. So I'm just reading the Iliad. I'm not reading the Odyssey, even though this is a bind up of both of them. So I'm technically only reading half of this, which I think is smart because I think trying to read both would be a little too ambitious. If you don't know what it's about Greek mythology essentially, and Greek myth figures, and it's a classic, so I'm sure you do know what it's about, or you know, generally you've heard of it. And spoiler alert, this is about a plague that is similar to the flu that kills like 90% of humanity. So if you're interested in something that'll scare the crap out of you and really reflect the world that we live in currently, read The Stand. But if not, definitely avoid it for a while. This next one I'm using for the challenge, something that inspired a movie you've seen but book you haven't read, and then for reading outside because it's really short. You have to read in a book entirely outside. So the one that I chose for this is Wonder Woman Year One, which is volume 2 of the Wonder Woman comic series by Greg Rucka. I really liked the first one. It's obviously about Wonder Woman. The art style is beautiful, and I'm super excited to read it. And again, because it's really short, I'm gonna read it entirely outside. And I'm really excited for the new Wonder Woman movie, hopefully coming out soon. I don't know because of COVID when it actually is coming out, but I love Wonder Woman. She's one of my favorite superheroes. I don't have a physical copy of this one, but there's one challenge where you have to read a book from a genre you want to read more of, and I, for this challenge, am going to be listening to the audiobook for Call Me By Your Name by André Osmond. I really don't know what this is about other than it's like, I think it's a YA contemporary, and that's why I chose it, because I don't read contemporary often, and I think it's YA. I'm not 100% sure, but honestly I'm reading this because one of my favorite YouTubers, Noelle Gallagher, I talk about her all the time, mentioned her in my last video, and I'm probably gonna mention her in like all my videos. She's amazing, but she loves André Aciman, and she specifically talks about Call Me By Your Name so much. Every time she mentions it, I'm just like, wow, I really need to read that, because she just speaks so highly of the writing, and she said it made her cry, and a book hasn't made me cry in a while. And then last but not least, the final challenge is to read a book that's set in a continent that you don't live on. I'm reading a South Asian inspired fantasy story because obviously it's not set in the continent that we're familiar with because it's a fantasy story, but if it was, it would be set in Asia, and I live in North America. So that book is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha and Ngan. I have heard many recommendations for this, both from Jessie from Bow Ties and Books and Jenny from The Story Ain't Over, so I really wanted to read this. I picked it up a few weeks ago in a haul, and I just don't really want to wait, and I thought that this would be the perfect time to read it. So this is my Reading Rush TBR, in addition to Call Me By Your Name. It looks really, really ambitious because of The Stand, but again, I'm already over halfway through The the stand. I don't know if that's cheating, but we're gonna do it. So yes, today it's already kind of late in the afternoon. It's, I think, like 4:30. Right now, I'm probably going to read more of The Stand. I read some of The Stand this morning. Happy Monday, happy reading rush. Comment down below what you're reading this week, what your favorite read from the reading rush was. I'm so happy and so excited. And on top of the reading rush, I have an exciting announcement / experience happening on Wednesday, and I'm gonna show you guys, take you guys along, and it's gonna be great. So stick around for that. Big life updates from me this week, and lots of reading updates from me this week as well. Oh, I almost forgot. I made this little thing on my whiteboard. It's a list of the books that I'm reading, and I'm gonna just check them off. I just thought that it would be kind of cute to have a visual. Ignore that. That's the first gift that I got as a baby. It's a giant Elmo that's really dirty, and I just can't bring myself to part with it. So yeah, I have this that I'll check off as I read them because I love making lists and checking stuff off. It's just so satisfying, you know? Hey there, it's Tuesday and I just finished filming another video. It'll actually be up already by the time you guys see this one. I just got done filming the BookTube newbie tag, a little sit down video interspersed with my normal vlogging content. That was really fun. Got some fun purpley eyeshadow on today. Updates from the day. I woke up at a pretty decent time today, went out and went for a nice run before it started raining. I say nice run, but in reality it was incredibly warm and sweaty and gross. Then I got ready, got dressed, filmed a video, uploaded last week's reading vlog, which was The Stand, and then, as you saw in the B-roll clip, I finished my first reading rush book, which was Wonder Woman. So yeah, I finished Wonder Woman Volume 2, Year 1, and it was so good. So I've already completed 2 challenges. I finished the Read a Book Outside challenge, and I finished the Read a Book that inspired a movie that you've seen. So that's what this covered, both of those challenges. I loved this one. I remember the first one, Wonder Woman The Lies, I think is the title. The first one I liked just because like it's Wonder Woman and I love Wonder Woman, but this one really stepped up the game. It was so good. There's excellent representation in here. I feel like in pop culture, the assumption about the Amazons is that all of the women are just not sexual beings. Like there's just no relationships or love or like sexual experiences on Themyscira because like all women, like what? I feel like this is the first Wonder Woman lore or story that I've encountered where love is depicted on Themyscira, so I really love that. And not just on Themyscira, I feel like the representation and the writing is so wonderful in here, and I think Greg Rucka is doing amazing things with the Wonder Woman story and the Wonder Woman origins. We get introduction to Steve Rogers, Minerva, Dr. Minerva, Etta Candy. The story was amazing. The art style is absolutely stunning, and it's so empowering. I love reading Wonder Woman. It just makes me feel so good. Like, oh, look at this. I mean, come on, guys. See, I really like the art style, how it, like, it's giving you a movement almost, like the visuals, like, move around kind of the way that the artist does it. Who is the artist, actually? The artist is Nicola Scott. Now I have to go pick up the third one because I feel like I really want to read this now. But I shouldn't buy books, guys. I shouldn't do it. But I'm probably going to. We shall see. I'm so excited. The day is finally here. Okay, Guys, I have an announcement. It's so great. You guys are probably gonna be like, I don't care because it doesn't have to do with me, but today I am getting my very first car. I'm getting my first car today and I'm so excited. I'm probably gonna cry. So my grandma is getting a new car and her old car is fine, but she wants a new one. She wants to try something else and she has the money and the funds to do so. So I am getting her old car and I love it. I love that it's a little old, it's a little quirky. You know how like Jack Sparrow's compass only works for him? That's what this car is gonna be to me. It's gonna just work for me. And I'm getting it tonight because today she's getting her new car and I cannot freaking wait. So when I get it, I'll show you guys and I will announce the name that I have chosen for the car because I'm psychotic and I'm gonna name it. So yes, I'm so excited. It's so cute and it is a little old lady looking, but you know, I'm an old lady at heart, so it's perfect for me. But that's not really why I'm here right now to talk to you. I'm here to tell you that I kept forgetting yesterday to come on and tell you that I started the audiobook for Call Me By Your Name by André Osmond, but I did start it yesterday. I am currently 56% of the way through the audiobook for that, and it's really good. Okay, let me just preface this by saying I do not read romance at all. I don't remember the last time I read a romance book, so I was unprepared. I was unprepared for how spicy romance is. Like, it's like, ooh, hot. Is it hot in here or is it just me, you know? But I love it. It's like so cute and sweet. So in the book we're following the narrator, main character. His name's Iliad. He's staying in his summer house with his family in Italy, and like every year they take in a resident in their summer house, and the resident like works with his dad. And this year a boy named Oliver, or I guess he's not a boy, a man named Oliver, who is he teaches at a university. He's like in his like mid-20s and he's writing a book. So he comes and he stays with the family, and Elio is kind of grappling with these feelings of attraction that he has towards Oliver and trying to understand that and like navigating what his sexuality means to him. At first, I wasn't the biggest fan of Elio. He reminds me a little bit of Holden Caulfield from Catcher in the Rye, and I hate that book. It's like one of my top 5 worst books of all time that I've ever read. But Elio's growing on me. I like his character. It's just like his thoughts and his attitude about certain things reminds me of Holden, but not as like toxic and annoying and whiny as Holden. I do like Oliver's character too. He's kind of like very like flippant and like he's not like a bad boy, but he's kind of just like, he presents as someone who's very like confident and sure of himself. I want to finish it today because this is the reading rush. It's day 3 of the reading rush and I've only finished 1 book, so I'm thinking that finishing that one today would put me on a good path. But Milo has a doctor's appointment tomorrow. He's going to the vet for his checkup, so he has that. And then on Friday he has bath. This is like the worst week of his life. He hates both of those things. So those are the only like plans or things that I have to do the rest of the week, and then I'm just gonna spend the rest of my time reading my freaking buns off.
Hey guys, I'm in my new, that's technically still old car. I'll show you the outside, but I'm currently waiting in line to take it through the car wash because I thought what better way than to baptize it with soap and suds for the first, well, not the first time. God, I hope it's not the first time this car's been washed, but for the first time under my supervision. It's great. I'm loving it. And just a few fun facts about my new car. It doesn't have air conditioning. Another fun fact, it has a clock that runs 1 hour fast. Super awesome. And it's like 10 years old. I love it. So yeah, right now I'm about to take it through the car wash, and then when I get home and I'm gonna clean it out, I'll show you guys the outside and like more of the interior and tell you her name, the name of this sassy old gal.
Hey guys, I just wanted to quickly check in. After the car wash, I spent like an hour and a half sweeping out the car completely and putting in the stuff that I got for it online, and by then it was pretty dark out. But right now I just wanted to tell you guys I am reading The Stand. I'm just cozied up on the couch with my blanket reading The Stand. I am in the 800 page range right now. I think I'm gonna have to turn in early this evening because I am just so beat after this day. So good evening, happy Wednesday, sorry, I thought it was Thursday. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a good week, and I hope everyone's reading rush is going well. Here she is, everybody. She's about 10 years old and has no air conditioning, a clock that doesn't work, and she's a little rough around the edges, but boy is she a beauty, am I right? I have thus decided to name her Agatha, Aggie for short, because, you know, it's a little bit of an old lady car, but, you know, she's still got some spunk, some spark in her. So, no offense if your name is Agatha. When I was looking up old lady names, my name came up on the old lady name list, so we're in the same club. But I have christened her Aggie / Agatha. But she's got this gorgeous purple maroon color. Oh yeah, you guys can see me, my big bun glory. But let me unlock her for you. We can look at the interior a little bit. It's like 2,000 degrees in here right now because the sun has been beating down. I got a little lavender air freshener going on, lavender vanilla, to get the old lady smell out. Let's show you the back now. So in the back, I ordered this cute little doggy thing from Amazon, so that when I take Milo on car rides with me, I won't get too much hair and it'll keep him. He loves to jump between the front and the back via this little hole in any car. He loves to do that because he's mischievous. So I got this to prevent him from jumping back and forth, but also to keep the hair, so that I can wash it every once in a while to keep the hair out, because honestly I'm probably gonna have him in the car more than anybody else, more than one person who could sit in the front. I can actually link it down below if you guys are interested in that, because I think it's really cute, and it was only like 30 bucks. So this is my little Milo addition to the car. Hi guys, it's day 5 of the reading rush. Yeah, day 5. It's Friday, and I'm here to tell you that I completed my 2nd book, which is not great, but I'm hoping to finish the 3rd today. So I finished Call Me By Your Name, the audiobook for Call Me By Your Name by André, Osmond, and I am reaching the home stretch of The Stand, so to speak. I have like 200 pages left, I think. I feel like in my head I was like, I'm doing so well. Like, I finished Wonder Woman, which was easy, and then like I was like, I'm about to finish Call Me By Your Name, and then I'm realizing that it's kind of falling apart. But an update on the challenges: read a book from a genre outside of your comfort zone, or a genre that you want to read more of, which was Call Me By Your Name. And I'm gonna try my hardest to finish these other 2 books, guys. I really am going to bust my butt to get it done for you. And if worse comes to worse and I don't finish them by Sunday at midnight, I'm just going to carry over into next week's vlog, so you will eventually be able to hear my thoughts on them if I don't ultimately complete them. Anyway, let's get into my review breakdown. Let's call it Adeline's Review Breakdown. I have a special review system if you're new here. I have been getting some new subscribers, so if you're new here, I love you for subscribing. Thank you and welcome. I have a review system that I developed for myself. I'll have a link to the blog post where I break it down specifically down below, but right now we're just gonna go through it for Call Me By Your Name. Also, I don't know if I gave you my star rating for Wonder Woman, but it was 5 out of 5. So If I didn't tell you that, I'm telling you now. Call Me By Your Name, ultimately, the star rating I gave for the entire book is a 3.75, which for me is good. Like, I think sometimes people see like 3-star ratings and they're like, oh geez, they didn't really like it, but to me 3.75 out of 5 stars is like a really decent, like, normal rating for me. I did really like the book. I liked it, and I'm gonna tell you why it's a 3.75 and not a 4 or a 4.5 right now. So first category in my review system is characters, and I gave this a 4 out of 5. I loved the characters for the most part. As I said, Elio kind of gave me Holden Caulfield vibes a little bit, and I wasn't super in love with that, but I really liked Oliver's character, and there were parts of Elio's character that I did like, and a lot of the side characters were interesting. They weren't super fleshed out, a lot of the side characters. World and plot, I gave 3 out of 5. The descriptions of Italy are beautiful. I've never been to Italy myself, but I really could imagine a lot of the places that they were going to, and the ambiance and the environment that the story takes place in was really well done. I loved the imagery that Osmond puts forth. However, there were a couple parts of the book that dragged for me a little bit. I was surprised that it was mostly towards the end. There's a part where Elio and Oliver go to Rome. There were a couple parts in Rome that dragged for me a little bit, but overall I liked the plot. Entertainment value is the next category. I gave this a 3 out of 5 because for similar reasons it dragged a little bit. This might be a controversial opinion, but I did not like the ending. I was like, I know that when books make you sad, that's like, it's impressive, and I'm impressed that Aciman was able to make me like rip my heart out and like just throw it on the ground and make me sad. But I just like, I feel like you spend so much of the book, like the first half of the book is leading up to Elio going and saying something to Oliver and kind of like putting himself out there and risking this moment of like a sexual awakening and trying to come to terms with this new part of his identity that he's been grappling with for a few years. And then like we get a lot of like the romance and like the middle-ish, like third section of the book, fourth of the book, we get like their romance, and you know that eventually Oliver's gonna leave, but I just was I was sad for both of them, and I just feel like the way that it ended, for me, the ending was kind of just like, that's it. There's like, to me, there's no silver lining, and it's not optimistic or hopeful at all. And I was hoping that there would be like a hint of hope or like something, especially since there's a sequel. I was just surprised by the ending. I hope that doesn't turn you off from this book because it's a good book. I'm wondering if maybe the audiobook part took a little bit away from me, and maybe because I was listening to it, the ending didn't resonate with me as much because I didn't get to really slow down and look at the language and what Osmond was implying with the ending. Fourth category is intellectual value. I gave this a 4 out of 5. I loved the discussions about identity. The bisexual representation was great, and I just really enjoyed the banter and the connection that they have that Oliver and Elio have. They connect a lot through books, and scholarship is sort of their like love language or their flirtatiousness. That's how they get connected. Timelessness, I give a 4 out of 5. I think this book is written in the 80s, but to me, what Osmond does is not confined to that time period. I could conceivably read it again. That's a big thing for timelessness for me. And then my bias, I gave a 3 out of 5 because I didn't like the ending, and I realized that that affects my rating, so I always like to acknowledge that because that's a personal preference for me. Someone else might have really loved the ending. Anyway, so yes, now I'm gonna read The Stand. Things are heating up, let me tell you. So last night, I was talking to Alexander about The Stand, and I was like, I don't know, the book's reaching the point where I think people are gonna die. And then he left my house, and I started to read, and 10 pages into my reading experience last night, one of my favorite characters died, and I was like, I effing predicted that one of my favorite characters was gonna die. So people are dropping like flies now. We're in the home stretch. We'll get into my thoughts on The Stand later. I'm still conflicted, and I don't know where I stand. Pun not intended, but definitely funny. So yeah, I'm gonna go read a little bit more. Apologies for not vlogging at all yesterday. It was kind of a crazy day. I took Milo to the vet in the morning / early afternoon, and we got to the appointment too early, so I had to take him on a walk in a neighborhood that I'm not familiar with to kill some time before they would let us in, because you're not allowed to like sit in the waiting room because of COVID, which makes sense. So I took him on a walk, and then like I'm not supposed to be going in there with him, so I gave him to the nurse who came out to get him, and then 5 minutes later they called me and was like, he's so nervous, would you mind coming in, because we can't get him to, like, I went in there, he was hiding in the corner, like he had peed everywhere. I was like, oh my god. It's like, I'm not a parent, but I imagine it's like hearing like as a parent that your child like pooped at preschool or something, and you're just like, I'm so sorry. He got a shot in his little bum, so he was really sad yesterday and just like mopey around the house. So I did not end up vlogging, and then it was like pouring down rain, so I couldn't show you the car, so I didn't end up vlogging yesterday. Apologies. Peace out.
Just some video evidence that I'm making progress and almost done with the stand. So heavy, oh my gosh.
Hello, book friends, it's Saturday. And I just have a couple random updates, little haul for you guys, and just information about what's been going on. But first things first, the reading update. I have like 50 pages left of The Stand. I will finish it tonight, and then tomorrow is the last day of the reading rush. So since I have 2 books left on my TBR, I am gonna pick one to binge read tomorrow, and then whatever book I don't choose that was on this list will get pushed to next week's vlog, but I will still plan on reading it for you guys. My mom and I got pedicures today, and then we ran to Target because we had to get some stuff, and I just wanted to show you some of the things that I got. I have a little mini haul for you. Actually, almost everything is from Target, and then there's one thing that I'm gonna show you that's not from Target, so I'll show you that first. So I got this thing off of Amazon. It looks like a cage of some sort, but it's actually like a wall hanging thing, so I can like clip pictures on it. I used to have like a bulletin board hanging up, and then it fell, and it has been sitting in my room broken with all my pictures on it for months now. So I ordered this, and probably tonight I'm going to transfer all of my pictures onto this. Now, I have been meaning to buy more shorts because I don't have very many comfortable pairs of shorts. So I grabbed 3 pairs. I grabbed this jean pair, this like jegging style, and then these workout shorts. These actually look the exact same color, and they kind of are, but yeah, so I'm probably gonna end up keeping these 2. The only thing is, unfortunately, I have to take this back because it has one of those things on it, and I didn't notice that it had one of those, so that's a little sad. I'm gonna have to take them back, but I have to return the other pair anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. I got a new foundation because I usually use Maybelline Fit Me foundation, but they were out of my shade, so I went out on a whim and I got this foundation because I have heard good things about it. It's the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear foundation. I got some nail polish colors because I've been painting my nails a little bit more recently to prevent myself from biting them and picking at them. So I got the shade Ladylike, which is like this nice nude shade, and I love this one. This one's called Playdate. It's like this beautiful like purpley lavender. Oh, purple's my favorite color, and like these light shades of purple are just I also just bought a bunch of these mini clips to use on the thing that I bought for the pictures in my room. Alexander is on his way over, and we're ordering ramen for dinner tonight because we have both been really wanting to get like fancy, well-prepared ramen. We're getting this place called the Ramen Bar near my house, and we're gonna try that tonight. Other updates, one of the most, I don't know if this is going to translate as exciting to you as it is to me, but my boyfriend, partner, Alexander, you've seen him Probably if you've watched my earlier vlogs, that's who I was just talking about. We have a lot in common, we have a lot of similar interests, but he does not like reading. I have been trying to get him to like reading for a very, very long time, and a few weeks ago I gifted him I have an extra copy of Theft of Swords, which is the first book in my favorite fantasy trilogy of all time. So I gifted him my copy, and it was just like sitting in his room. I was like, please, I know you will like this book. It's so good. He's never read a book that he liked. I was like, please, you're gonna love this book. It's so good. It's right up his alley for his interests. 2 days ago, he told me that his mom had extra Audible credits on like the Audible app, which is an audiobook app if you aren't familiar. And I was like, oh my god, you should listen to Theft of Swords. And he was like, what? And I was like, listen to it like an audiobook. And he's like, does that count? And my mind just exploded. I was like, yes, it counts. That's reading. So he's listening to Theft of Swords and he likes it, and it is just like, my heart is so happy. That's my Saturday evening update. Target haul, finishing the stand, ramen. Alexander's finally reading a book. Woo! I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Hey there guys, it's Saturday night. Alexander just left. Our ramen, I think, turned out so-so, we'll call it. I would give it a 3 out of 5 bowls. Noodles, bowls, I don't know. It was pretty good, but not the best. I don't know if it was because it was takeout, but you know, with the current circumstances, obviously we can't go there. We watched a bunch of Hunter x Hunter. I painted my nails. I don't know if you guys can really tell. Oh, there we go. I love this purple color, super cute. So painted my nails, and now I'm about to sit down and finish the stand. Good evening. Hope everyone is having a good Saturday. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. It's 1:30 in the morning, and I just finished the stand, and I thought I should document it. I'm officially done. My brain can't process anything right now, so I'm gonna go to bed. But I did it. The stand. Everybody, it is Sunday evening. I only have like 3 hours, not even, of the reading rush left, so I think it's time to admit that I'm not gonna get much farther. But right now we got to talk about it. The stand. I finished the stand last night. Wow, I just can't believe it. It took me a little under 2 weeks to ultimately finish the stand. I was hoping to read it in 1 week, but that didn't really happen. Also, I'm sorry if you guys can hear my chair. My chair keeps squeaking. I'm sorry about that. Adeline's review breakdown. Let's get talking about this beefy book. I think I'm going to give you the categories first before I give you the final rating, because I've got a lot to say about this book. The reason I say that I have a lot to say about this book is because this book takes place in the same universe as the Dark Tower books, so there is some relationship between the two books. I won't say what that relationship is, but not only do they share a universe, but they also share a style. Characters, I am going to give a 3 out of 5 because I did have many characters that I really enjoyed and were rooting for. I thought that the bad guys, or the people who gather in the dark side of the world, I thought some of those characters were really good. I was a little disappointed in the character of the Dark Man. There were a couple characters that were really good, but there were also a couple characters that I feel like I was more afraid of one of the side characters, so to speak, or one of our main characters that survives the flu than I was of the Dark Man or the walking dude who is this like ultimate evil figure. His name's Randall Flagg. I was more afraid of the other character and what he was capable of than I was of Randall Flagg, and I feel like Randall Flagg's character ends up being a little bit of a dud for me. Ultimately, I gave characters a 3 out of 5 because I didn't love the descriptions of all the characters. I mentioned this in my last video, but I think part of it is that this book is just a little bit dated. There's a lot of fixations on the female body that made me a little bit uncomfortable. Not a huge fan of that. World/plot, I gave a 4 out of 5 because even though this is a really long book, there were only like 2 or 3 sections and they were very brief where I was like, wow, I'm bored. But like for the most part, the story really propels you along, and because you're bouncing from so many different characters and so many different places in the United States, it keeps things going really quickly and didn't really bore me. I thought that the plot was well paced in that way, and also the world and what happens to this world and the super flu. I think part of it is that I'm reading it during a global pandemic. Really amped it up for me, but I thought that was really good, so I gave that a 4 out of 5. Entertainment value, I gave a 3 out of 5 because I did not like the ending. This is the second book that I'm reviewing this week where I didn't like the ending, and I just feel like really disappointed. All I'm gonna say is that the ending to The Stand is similar in style to the ending of the Dark Tower series, and I change my mind every day whether or not I like or dislike the ending to the Dark Tower series. For me, I love the series because it's about the journey, it's about the ride, it's not about the end as much for me, even though it's like pushing up to this ultimate moment the entire time. Whereas The Stand, for me, I was waiting to find out what happened for so long, and yes, it was a little bit about the journey, but also the ultimate climactic moment happened like 100 pages before the end of the book. So I feel like the last 100 pages was really drawn out and unnecessary. That was one of the parts of the book where I felt it was dragging a little bit, which is not an ideal place to have a book drag, is at the end. So entertainment value for that reason is not the best, but it's also like a good book, and like I said, I think reading it during a pandemic made it a little more scary, a little more creepy. There were scenes where I was really freaked out, really disturbed, and it gave me that feeling of horror. Intellectual value, I gave it 2 out of 5 because of the reasons that I mentioned before. This book, the plot is good, it's entertaining. I recommend it if you like horror, if you want to read about a pandemic, but first of all, trigger warnings for sexual assault and domestic violence. Also, as I said, there are just character descriptions in here that I think will not stand the test of time, so to speak, and they aren't doing so. I was uncomfortable by some of them and questioning whether or not it was Stephen King's fault or responsibility, or I just feel like I don't know what's meant to make me uncomfortable because it's horror and what is incidentally making me uncomfortable because there are hints of sexism and racism. So yeah, I gave intellectual value a 2 out of 5 and I don't regret it, and that's why my ultimate rating is what it is. It could be higher, but it's not because of these. I feel like if there weren't so many problematic descriptions of certain characters, then this book would be way more highly rated for me. Timelessness, I gave a 3 out of 5 because, as I just said, I don't think it really holds up to the test of time in certain areas, but in other ways, this book was written in the 70s and it's very disturbingly similar to our current situation in the world, which is kind of cool. Would I read this again? No, because A, it's massive, and B, I don't think that I would get anything out of it, whereas on the other hand, I would read the Dark Tower books again, and I do plan to read the Dark Tower books again. My bias, lastly, is 3 out of 5 because I feel like I like Stephen King and I liked him going into this book, so I feel like part of me is making excuses for some of his writing and some of the writing styles. I like his writing overall, and I'm trying to expose myself to horror. I realized that my bias is also one of the reasons I didn't give this like a 2-star. My final ultimate rating for Stephen King's The Stand is 3.5 out of 5 stars. Lastly, today I picked up Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha and Ngan, and I am at the 60-page mark. The rest of the evening is going to consist of me reading this. I do not plan on finishing it, but I will be reading it along with the Iliad next week. Good night. Have a great evening. Hope you all get a restful sleep, and I'll see you tomorrow for my final check-in for the reading rush. Hello everybody, it's time for a wrap-up clip. It is officially the end of the reading rush, and ultimately I completed 3 books and started a 4th book. I am not going to be too hard on myself. It's my first reading rush and I had a lot of fun doing the challenges, and I think it helped me to read some books that I've been putting off for a while and maybe some books that I wouldn't have read before. I read 880 pages this week, which is really good. That's definitely above average for me. I think like 500 is pretty average. I will be carrying over Girls of Paper and Fire and I think the Iliad into next week's vlog. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this reading rush vlog. I had so much fun this week. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're interested. Leave any comments below, constructive criticism, suggestions, requests, anything you want to see in these videos. Happy reading, happy writing, and happy living. Bye guys.